The mysterious Guanches of the Canary Islands. The Guanches were, for the most part, a fair-featured, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, light-skinned, tall and bearded, Neolithic people found living on the Canary Islands by Spanish explorers in 1402. The Spaniards reported highly beautiful white race, tall, muscular, and with a great many blondes amongst their numbers. The reason why it is considered somewhat of a mystery is that, if we look east to the closest land region, Northwest Africa, the peoples there are dark-featured, dark brown hair, brown eyes, olive skin. This anomaly would appear odd to anyone investigating the Guanches. So how did this happen? I will explain it right from the very beginning. The first humans were black Africans. They arose 250,000 years ago in northeast Africa. A tribe of these Africans migrated out of Africa 130,000 years ago. They migrated to Scandinavia and settled there. 85,000 years of isolation in Scandinavia, the original black African tribe changed to the Nordic race, a breed with blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. All uniform in appearance. Interbreeding had occurred because of isolation and time. The Nordic race that had arisen after 85,000 years then left Scandinavia before the Ice Age got too inhospitable through extreme cold. The interglacial period had come to an end. The Nordic racial group could have only evolved in Scandinavia. The lack of light and icy conditions are the only environmental factors that can explain the evolution of blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin. 45,000 years ago there was a Nordic race and 4 dark-featured human races: Black African, Indian, Far East Asian, Aboriginal. The Indian, Far East Asian and Aboriginal races developed from a later wave of Africans whom left Africa tens of thousands of years later than the first wave to Scandinavia. 45,000 years ago the Nordic tribes spread down into Europe and North Africa, occupying many parts of it in separate tribal groupings. They also made it from North Africa to the Canary Islands. It could have been that migration to the archipelago was driven by desertification of the Sahara region. Tribes broke off and spread into Asia. In the Middle East, a Nordic tribe encountered an Indian tribe that had left their region of India. These two tribes mixed, and a new breed of man formed, Arabs. The Arabic population expanded in the Middle East. Tribes of them migrated west into the north of Africa. From North Africa they moved into the Mediterranean. In the Mediterranean they came across the original Nordic racial tribes. The Arabic tribes mixed with the Nordic tribes in southern Europe, which formed the basis of the Spanish, Italians and Greeks. The same thing happened in Far East Asia. The Nordics mixed with the Far East Asians and this produced who we know today as the Chinese and Japanese ethnic types. These new tribes moved west, mixing with Nordic tribes in Eurasia, which formed the basis of whom we know today as the Slavic people. Whites are mostly comprised of the Nordic race but are also part Indian and Far East Asian to varying degrees. People in the south of Europe are more Indian than those from the north of Europe. People from the east of Europe are more Far East Asian than those from the northwest of Europe. There has been little mixing between the Nordic tribes and the Black African and Australian Aboriginal tribes.